Meet Sarah. She's full of life, always running, always playing. Last year, a small scrape like this was no big deal. A quick trip to the doctor, a short course of antibiotics, and she was back on her feet in no time. But today, things are different. What if the medicine that worked yesterday stops working today? This isn't science fiction. This is the reality of antimicrobial resistance, a growing threat that could make even a simple cut dangerous. The World Health Organization warns that by 2050, AMR could be responsible for 10 million deaths every year. Let's zoom into Sarah's body, into a world invisible to our eyes. Here, an entire city of tiny bacteria is thriving. When we take antibiotics, they're like targeted strikes against these invaders. But some bacteria are getting smarter. They're evolving, learning to fight back, building defenses. This is antimicrobial resistance, or AMR. It happens when microbes, like bacteria, develop the ability to defeat the drugs designed to kill them. This means the medicines we rely on become less effective. Now let's look at another common scenario. Meet Ravi. He has a classic cold runny nose, sneezing, feeling awful. His family, wanting to help, gives him some leftover antibiotics they had at home. But here's the problem. Colds are caused by viruses, not bacteria. The antibiotics do absolutely nothing to the virus. Instead, they attack the harmless bacteria in Ravi's body, creating the perfect training ground for resistance. The only thing that grows stronger are the bacteria that survive. It's a huge issue. The WHO estimates that up to half of all antibiotic use worldwide is unnecessary. Remember, antibiotics don't work on colds and flu. So how exactly does this resistance happen? Imagine an antibiotic is sent in to fight an infection. It wipes out most of the bacteria, but a few, the toughest ones, manage to survive. They're the ones with natural defenses. These survivors then have the whole place to themselves. They multiply rapidly, creating a new generation of bacteria that are all resistant to that antibiotic. What is even scarier is that they can share their resistance, power-ups, their genetic code with other bacteria, like trading cards. This is how normal bacteria can transform into dangerous superbugs. The more we misuse antibiotics, the stronger and more widespread these superbugs become. And this isn't just a human health problem. The issue extends deep into our food system. On many farms around the world, antibiotics are routinely given to healthy animals, not to treat sickness, but to make them grow faster or prevent disease in crowded conditions. These resistant bacteria can then travel from animals to us. They can get into the soil, into our water supply, and onto the food we eat. It's a concept called One Health, recognizing that the health of people, animals, and the environment are all interconnected. A superbug that starts on a farm can end up in a hospital halfway across the world. If we don't act, the consequences will be devastating. We're heading towards a post-antibiotic era, where common infections and minor injuries could once again become deadly. Procedures we take for granted, like C-sections, hip replacements, or cancer chemotherapy, could become incredibly risky because of the high chance of untreatable infections. The world is already losing around 700,000 people each year to drug-resistant diseases. This isn't a distant threat. It's a silent pandemic that's happening right now. But there is hope. This is a fight we can win, but it requires all of us to act. We can slow down AMR by handling antibiotics with care. First, only use antibiotics when they're prescribed by a certified health professional. Don't pressure your doctor for them if they say you don't need them. Second, if you are prescribed antibiotics, always complete the full course, even if you start feeling better. Stopping early allows the stronger bacteria to survive and multiply. Third, never use leftover antibiotics or share them with others. What works for one person might not be right for another. And finally, simple things make a huge difference. Practice good hygiene like washing your hands, and stay up to date on your vaccinations to prevent infections in the first place. The future of antibiotics truly depends on all of us. By working together, we can protect these precious medicines for ourselves and for future generations. Remember Sarah? Because the right steps were taken, her medicine worked. She's back to doing what she loves. Let's make sure that when we need them most, our medicines still work. The power to protect them is in our hands. Share this message. Spread awareness, not resistance. Thanks for watching.